Good day, everyone. Want to thank God for your life. Believe this is another opportunity to discuss matters arising, and that gives concern to everyone. As nations prepare for the general election, it is imperative at this point in time to speak to one another, painting a vision as to what we need to do or factors that needs to be considered if we must do the right thing at the right time. I once do a video about election. My thought. It's on social media. So this very video, it's a build up to that very one, election my thought. So I'll tag this one, election my thought, part 2, election my thought, part 2. So as nations across the globe prepares for their general elections, I think it's high time we stood up to address fundamental issues about nationhood, citizenship, about leadership and politics, or politicians, if as the case may be. So this very moment, I'm just going to be talking on a general standard for choosing leaders. And so election my thought part 2, I tagged it or subtitled it to mean leadership and politics. Leadership and politics. And I want us to sit back, let's think deep about some of the salient points I'm going to be addressing in a couple of minutes, and believing that we will be able to decide, we will be able to think deep and do something worthwhile with ourselves, with our nation. Let me begin by saying that we don't need more politicians in leadership. We have enough of them. They are scattered everywhere. We just see them. So what we need is more true leaders in politics. I'll take that again. We don't need more politicians in leadership. What we need now is true leaders in politics. Unfortunately, our government culture is predominantly occupied by politicians and influenced by political propaganda. And that is where the followership or the citizenship gets confused. Because everywhere now, the idea of democracy is the government of the people, by the people and for the people, but administered by politicians. And so they are scattered everywhere. And that is where the challenge comes as to who do we choose. The government culture is run by individuals that are produced under the platform of political parties. And so even independent candidate has no say. And like they say in politics, that the majority will always have their way, while the minority will have their say. So most of the people in our government that rule over the people, they are politicians. So we don't need more of them. So we need more of true leaders. And the reason is because politicians or democracy or what have you, or the party's platform influencing our government culture is the message of democracy, and it is circulated across the global society, except for nations where democracy is not being practiced. Now, the bitter truth is this. The bitter truth is this. And listen, everybody. Don't ever believe that politicians are leaders. No. That's one of the misconceptions we are having. We think every politician that comes out there, campaign and whatever, or all the figures that are, given to the citizenship to choose from, we assumed that they are leaders. No, do not assume, do not believe that politicians are leaders. But some of them, they have no clue to leadership. But these are the people we, maybe out of no choice, we vote for. We give them the political mandate to rule over us. And mind my word, to rule over us. Leadership is about leading the people to produce more leaders. But unfortunately, politicians comes to power to rule. Now, the reason why you must not confuse politicians as leaders as follows. Number one, every politician, the primary aim of every politician is to secure the office and retain the same. That's their priority. What is in the mind of an average politician is how to secure the office, is how to get to the position, and nothing more. So therefore, the focus of every politician is not about next generation. It is about the next election. It is always about the next, and that's why they can do anything to secure the office. They are ready to kill, they are ready to massacre. People, they become fearless, clueless, all because their priority, their thinking is about the next election. Even the one in the office at the moment doesn't want to leave the office. So he comes to the office, having been elected, his mind is about the next election, how to remain in the office till eternity. Number two, the concern of every politician is the party's program. And if you study it very well, you keep on hearing them, this is in line with our party, this is in line. And so sometimes you want to think, so did the citizen elect this man only to fulfill party's mandate? Is it only the party people that lives in the country? So let's begin to think about it. And so they say everything is about. So the people that they are supposed to lead, they become minority. They become second in the order. So the first thing that comes to their mind is about the party. About the party. They keep on talking about the party. Why? Because they are politicians. On the contrary, a leader thinks more about the welfare, well-being, stability, security of his people, of the people he is leading. But for politicians, their concern is about the party's program. And that is why don't be disappointed if somebody will, for selfish interest, disappoint the people that are trust, that are look unto him as a godly person or as a good man. The moral value of life is not always there when it comes to political propaganda. The third reason why you must not see politicians as leaders is the fact that politicians are preoccupied with promises and not purpose. With promises. They promise we build I'll build a good road, build a hospital, build this, build that. They are preoccupied with that. And so, whether the people working, the working class, whether they are paid or not, is not in their agenda. So sometimes, I mean, is it normal? Is it normal for workers in the state, for workers in the country, to be unpaid for months, 3 months, 5 months, and yet the same government we put a huge sum of amount to construct road, to put up a bridge, to put up a building, to say they are reconstructing roads, and whereas people are dying of hunger. So why do you construct the roads? That is a misplacement of priority. You're constructing the road so that the people who are not well fed will be killed on that same road. And so it's high time we get the fact. We call a spade a spade. Let's talk senses to ourselves. How will somebody disregard his people, disregard their welfare, disregard whether they eat or not, whether they are living in debt or not, and get huge sum of amount of money to go put infrastructural what have you on ground? And the irony of it, in some part of the world, especially in Africa, the irony of it is by the time they go to commission that same project, the amount that is spent or that will be spent to commission the project will even double the amount that has been used to construct the same infrastructure. What an incidence of madness. So let the citizen have this in the back of your mind. Do not confuse politicians as leaders. So they are preoccupied by promises, and that is exactly what they are using to deceive the citizenry. They come and tell you the same thing because they know that is what you want to hear. They know that's exactly what you want to hear. So as we prepare for general elections, as countries across the globe prepare for general election, I'm appealing to the media. I'm appealing to our pressmen. I'm appealing to organizations that will be bringing all these politicians on board for interview, for debate. I'm appealing to the citizens to take the bull by the horn, take their destiny in their hand. And so rather than asking what is your intake about education, what is your this about infrastructure, what is this about health, I am appealing that we ask our politicians, the people we are about to elect to rule over us, these 3 questions. If they are able to answer them, then we satisfactorily, maybe such an individual will be among the leaders in the politics. But if not, forget it, because I'm very sure politicians will have no answer for these questions. And question number 1, pressmen, media people, organizations, platforms that will be bringing politicians, aspirants on board for programs and what have you. These 3 questions, please let it be part of the questions you will ask them. Question number 1 is, ask the aspirant, what is your purpose for leadership? What is your purpose for leadership? Mind you, when purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable. When purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. So, Mr. Politician, Mr. Aspirant, or Mrs. Politician, Mrs. Aspirant, what is your purpose for leadership? How do you see leadership? Question number 2. Let's Ask them, what is your passion for our nation? What is your passion for this country? Because oftentimes they come, we build good roads, we will bring investor, we will bring this. Is that what makes a nationhood? If you fill the whole place with buildings, with what have you, and you killed every individual there, who is going to make use of the facilities? So the passion should be for the people first, and not the office, and not the structure, political structures. And question number 3 that we need to ask in order to deduce whether this person who is aspiring to lead us or to rule over us is a true leader or a politician indeed, is, what are your uncompromised principles of leadership? Let's ask them. Uncompromised principles of leadership. What are your uncompromised principles of leadership? What's your attitude towards money? I mean, it's so surprising that somebody who has been bullied by opposition party, who has been talked down, who has been molested, reproached by opposition party, will be approached by the same party, by the same people, and is offered money. And the next thing is a compromise. The next thing is he give up. Then he start to support them. That is, so let's ask them. That is why the idea of cross-carpeting will continue, because they are politicians. So if we are able to ask these questions, I think we will be able to settle the debates, the political debates among the contestants. So it is my desire that we will get things right. Nationally, we will get things right globally. We'll be able to choose leaders who will lead and have the posterity in mind. We're able to put people in place that will be mindful of an average citizens of that country and not their own selfish interest. So I am challenging us all that in the upcoming elections, let's look out for leaders. And if you are a leader out there, it's high time you get involved, because the more we stay at the other side of the fence, and we become defensive, the political propaganda that has influenced our governmental policy will continue. So if we must stop this, we just have to get involved. So I'm believing that leaders, those who have passion, those who have concern, not just for the moment, but for the generations to come, will come on board and influence our political terrain. Then and only then can we get things done in the right manner. Thank you for listening. I hope to see you again. Bye.